Are you ready for a really rockin' time? Then look no further, because today we're looking at Bratz Rock Angels. Bratz is a massive line of dolls that came out in 2001. Over the years, it's had its share of movies, shows, and video games. So today we're going to look at a game based on a movie that was tied into the TV show, hitting all three bases at once. So our adventure begins in 2005 when a new line of Bratz dolls came out. It was called Rock Angels and featured the characters Chloe, Yasmin, Jade, Sasha, and Roxy in some pretty slammin' outfits. So as a tie-in, a TV movie called Bratz Rock Angels aired on Cartoon Network. This was part of the animated series that first aired on September 10th. The show and the movie both went on to attain respectable followings, and they're fun to rewatch today. But there's one aspect of the movie I'd like to focus on. See, it was so popular and heavily advertised that it received its own video game, which is also considered a cornerstone of nostalgia. But it had a slightly lesser known adaptation that I'd like to check out today. No, not the board game. I'm talking about the PC version. Now, like many PC adaptations in the 2000s, the task of developing this was given to AWE Productions Inc., also known as AWE Games. They basically invented the childhoods of gamers that couldn't afford video game consoles. By 2005, they had already released some of their best work, including Scooby-Doo 2, the Jimmy Neutron games, and most of their SpongeBob games with the exception of Nighty Nightmare. That same year, they also started their Agatha Christie series, which would go on to be a defining franchise for them. But in the middle of all this, they gave us their own spin on Bratz Rock Angels. So let's check out how they adapted this movie. First of all, I really like the menu. It just oozes that stylin 2000s energy. A lot of the background music is taken from the official album for the movie, but you may be disappointed to find that its main theme, So Good, is nowhere to be heard in this. I guess they couldn't get the license for it. Still, that song is what made me first fall in love with the movie, so it's kind of a shame they couldn't use it. But at this menu, we can see a few different options we have. Nothing's unlocked yet, but we can fix that as we play the game. And like in AWE's Battle for Bikini Bottom, we can choose a character to designate for each save file. We're on Jade by default, but all four of the main girls are here, along with Dylan and Cameron. So let's get right into this. Once we start, we're given very crunchy scenes from the movie for the cutscenes. I guess AWE didn't want to have to animate new ones, or use their storybook method from the SpongeBob movie. But the story is a super condensed version of the films. Jade approaches her friends Sasha, Chloe, and Yasmin to tell them she's got an internship at Your Thing magazine, which is a really big deal. I sure hope the plot of The Devil Wears Prada doesn't happen while she works there. But the occasion is soiled by the arrival of Kirsty and Casey, aka the Tweevils. Twin evils, that is. You might recognize Casey as the one who always breaks her nose. They're also totally not inspired by Barbie, Bratz's biggest rival. So once the cutscene is over, the girls head to the smoothie bar to celebrate. We meet Ethan, who's running the bar, and we're given our first minigame where we play as him. This is kind of funny because he's only a background character in the movie and he doesn't say anything, but at least they're utilizing other Bratz characters. But apparently Ethan has the most inconvenient method of making smoothies ever conceived. The ingredients are spinning toward you, and you have to click the right one as a girl asks for it. If you miss an ingredient or hit the wrong one 3 times in a row, it's game over. You also have to hit the buttons on the blender as they light up. You work your way through each girl, but the spinner gets faster with every round. This minigame is okay. Not too hard, just challenging enough. Not really a minigame I'd expect in a game based on this movie, but the smoothie bar is a notable location in Bratz, so at least they're making use of it. I also like the little dances the girls do when you make their smoothies.
Order up! This one looks really tasty. Order up! Next!
They're way too enthusiastic about these. They're almost as excited as Morty would be if you gave him fried ice cream. And once you beat a stage, depending on how good you did, you might unlock outfits that you can make the characters wear in every point and click section. They're really stylin'. But moving on with the story, Jade goes to start her internship at Your Thing magazine. It's led by Burdine Maxwell, a very bossy and self-absorbed individual. And that's putting it lightly.
Private clubs do a quiz fest?
Stop! Just so we understand each other, I come up with the ideas. Your Thing is my magazine. You work for me, and your title is nothing.
Things get worse when it turns out the Tweevils are also interns, and Burdine likes them a whole lot more than she likes our girl Jade.
Newsflash. This day is not going well.
Then we're thrown into the first point-and-click section. We take control of Jade, and Burdine tells us we're doing an issue on fashion do's and don'ts. This was a plot twist in the movie, but it drives the story here. Also, the photos somehow wound up in different places all around the building, so you have to find them all. And whenever you collect something, you get to hear this sound effect.
Bratz.
It gets stuck in your head after a while. You'll be going about your day and then just randomly blurt out, "Bratz." And as can be expected from AWE, the background music is great. Very classy. You can go around and interact with objects, seeing different animations and hearing Jade make comments about everything. I find it funny that she has mostly the same dialogue SpongeBob did when you try to use an item on something it doesn't go with.
No, not even close. That isn't right. You have got to be kidding. I don't think so.
It's fun to explore the building and interact with everything, but if we go over here, we can see the Tweevils working. She makes that noise a lot. Well, you need to search for a photo, and the twins will only let you if you help them finish a layout. You then get your first design section of the game where you select different images to make a magazine layout. None of the combinations look especially good, but there's humor to be had in it. I like making all the designs as ugly as I possibly can. You can even print them afterwards. You know, just in case you want to hang this up somewhere. But once we find the photo, we can go look at ourselves.
Get down, girl.
I also like how your cursor changes. It's an arrow when you can tell Jade to walk somewhere, but it becomes a pair of boots when you can leave the screen, and a halo when you can interact with something. Wouldn't be rock Angelz without a halo. Too bad the normal cursor isn't a rock though. But as we explore the building, we can see a lot of different places and complete different missions. I like all the Easter eggs you can find around the building too, such as the ones on the bulletin board in the lounge. This postcard promises 1 full week of Nirvana. Heck yeah, I would totally spend a whole week listening to Nirvana. Also, the hotel is called the Hipton. Ah, such a painful pun. But you go around finding photos and interacting with other employees. You can have such compelling conversations in this.
So you're the new intern, huh? Hope you last longer than the last. Welcome aboard.
Thanks?
Catch you later.
Okay, later.
And you can even go outside and visit the photo hut, which Cameron is working at. Unlike in the movie, we didn't see him or Dylan get a proper introduction. And that's a shame because I laughed way too hard when Dylan hit Casey with his skateboard. But you need to finish the missions to complete this stage. When you find a lost camera, the photo editor sends you to give it to Holly while also asking for a soda from the vending machine. To find change, we need to flush ourselves down a toilet in rock bottom. You can check all your missions by pulling up a menu where you can check your diary. It's really handy to have. In the same menu, you can change your outfit or even take pictures for your collection. There aren't a lot of rockin' things to take pictures of, but at least the option is there. But once we find all the photographs, Burdine sends us to vacuum and dust everything, along with picking out her outfit for a trip to London. A bit of foreshadowing. And we also need to get her mail. But we don't actually do most of this. We just watch more crunchy scenes from the movie. The Tweevils sabotage all of Jade's work, but at least they don't interfere when we try to pick out clothes. This brings us to another minigame. It's similar to the smoothie one, except the clothes are moving on a mechanical rack and conveyor belt. You have to select the right article of clothing, which is shown in the bottom right corner, but you'll only know what each article is when it turns to face you at a certain point. Some of the differences are subtle, so you have to be careful. But I mean, if you can't pick out subtle differences in clothing, should you really be working for a fashion magazine? Miranda Priestley would slaughter us. But it isn't too hard. It's okay. Then once we're done, Jade brings Burdine the mail and it all gets thrown out. She tells Jade to bring her lunch, and things take a slightly different turn than they did in the movie. This time, the Tweevils don't sabotage Jade. Jade just brings Burdine a burger unprovoked. It kind of makes Jade look a little more dense than she actually is. But I get it, they had to save time. So Jade gets fired so hard that even her children and grandchildren are fired. Talk about smearing the family name.
My life is so over.
Yeah, I gotta mention how this movie and the show had some of the funniest cutaway gags. They almost always get at least a chuckle out of me. So Jade goes to tell her friends about the incident. They decide to start their own magazine, but their office ends up being in the same building as your thing. It's also straight out of Silent Hill. Chloe sure is fun to watch Pixar with. So we're then brought into another point-and-click section where we have to collect stuff for our office's makeover. We control Sasha and go around town to check out the stores. We can also talk to Eaton.
Hey, Eaton, what's up?
Not too much, Sasha.
See ya.
The background music is also taken from the soundtrack, and it's really slammin' to listen to. With that background music, it sort of feels like running around a town in a Persona game. But you can go around in different stores, but your first destination should be the decor store. The de-store, if you will. But Sasha isn't sure what shade of blue to use, so she calls up Jade to find a shade. That rhymes. So we switch to Jade and head into the clothing store. But before the cashier can help us find the right shade, we have to set up a meeting between her and Eaton. Honestly, life must be so good as a cashier in an AWE game. You never have to help anyone out until they do a favor for you. So she gives you a blue dress and you bring it to Sasha.
I have the perfect blue bunny boot.
So then it's back to Sasha as we head to the furniture store. Unfortunately, Tweedledee and Tweedledum are here to buy the perfect couch before we can reach it. These girls are so awful, they must be the sisters of Polly Sparks. Unfortunately, the only other red couch they have has seen better days. Hey, it matches the rest of the office. Pre-renovation, that is. But the storekeeper agrees to fix the couch if you bring her new fabric and stuffing. Geez, imagine if I went to the store to buy a table, and they said, yeah, we'll get you a table. Just bring us a couple legs and we'll build it for you. At this point, Sasha, just go to IKEA. But you actually go to the fabric store and get a dialogue selection similar to the ones from the SpongeBob games. You have to select the red fabric, but I must warn you, do not try to be a jokester here. If you think picking the wrong fabric will get you some funny dialogue, you'd be dead wrong. Beyond dead, actually. You get nothing. No dialogue changes, no sign that you're doing anything wrong, nothing. The game went and said, oh, you want to play jokes, do ya? Well, here you go, bozo. You get nothing. Yeah, thought you'd get a funny dialogue exchange because you didn't pick the obvious red choice? How do you like this, Mrs. Funny Pants? But once you get the fabric, you head to the paint store to steal stuffing from them. I'm not joking, they have stuffing sitting around for some reason. You just walk up and take it. It wouldn't be an AWE game without stealing, would it? Then after you get all the stuff for the couch, Sasha rings up Chloe, who's designing a logo for the magazine. Then we get another design section where we make a logo. We can't mess around too much with this one. That's no fun. But then it's back to the cutscenes. Jade saved all the invitations Berdine threw out from the mail, one of which includes an invitation to Pins, a punk rock club in London. Though I'm surprised a punk club invited Your Thing to cover them. Your Thing seems to be more focused on conventional fashion. Though as a side note, I was really glad to see how much Bratz embraced the punk genre. With so many 2000 shows treating alternative styles as evil or undesirable, it was nice to see it warmly acknowledged in this. But in addition, the girls are also invited to a benefit concert called Save the Universe. They have a 5-star suite and a private jet booked, but before they go, they need to pick out some stylin' outfits. Now we get another minigame. An outfit will flash in a mirror for a short time, then you have to select the articles of clothing that match it. If you try to do it from memory, it can take you a long time to figure out. You'll get very used to the background music.
Amazing!
But you can click the hint button to make the outfit flash again, though this will affect your overall score. But we have technology. You can just take a picture with your phone and look back on it. Is it cheating? Maybe, but who's gonna stop me? The AWE police?
Hold it right there.
The viewers did it. But after that, the girls get on the plane, but Berdine is angry because the Bratz are stealing her spotlight, so she and the Tweevils decide to follow after them. Then the girls arrive at their hotel, along with Cameron and Dylan. And yeah, this little schmuck has been removed from the story entirely. Good riddance. But Burdine and the Tweevils are on their own plane, where they meet a bulldog named Ozzy who belongs to Byron Powell, a very blatant parody of Simon Cowell. Then they show up at their mediocre hotel room. Then we get an interesting point-and-click section where we help the Tweevils. And yeah, this segment happens much later in the movie, but AWE reworked the story a little bit. And I always found it interesting that their games occasionally had stages where you help the bad guys. You spend a stage making a mess you try to fix later. The dialogue is also funny in this cutscene.
Enough! Those tickets, or the two of you will be walking home.
Hey, you can't walk from London to... Shut up, Casey! We'll get those tickets.
We have to sneak into the Bratz hotel room to steal their tickets, but Burdine's dog Royale won't let us leave. Not sure why she doesn't just call it off. She's the one who sent us to get the tickets. So you feed the dog Burdine's lunch to escape. It's not fast food this time. Then you explore the hotel and try to find a key. You can ask the guy at the front desk for one, but it goes as well as you might expect.
Hello. We would like a key to suite 514, please.
So this is your room?
No. Yes. Yes. No.
I'm sorry, but I can't give you the key to someone else's room.
Please. Pretty please. Pretty please with a perfectly pink pair of pants on top.
But the maid's master key card is sitting right there, so you can just take it. Wow, careless much? That maid's getting fired. And at least we don't have to trade anyone fried ice cream for a key card this time. So we head into the Bratz room and explore, even cracking their mirror. But Cameron and Dylan show up, forcing the twins to hide in the closet, rather than under the bed like in the movie. Then we're met with that sweet music AWE love to put in every game of theirs.
I wonder where the girls are.
It's really dark in here. Shh, quiet down. How do we get out of here with those boys outside? I don't want to be trapped in here forever with all these ugly clothes. Ew.
But thankfully, you find an address book and can use it to call Cameron's phone. I like the dialogue here because it feels straight out of the show.
Hello?
Yes, this is the front desk. You have a package, sir.
A package? Wait, how did you get this number?
It's in your file. Please come to the front desk and get your package.
Okay, I'll be right down. That was strange. That was the front desk. They said I have a package downstairs.
How'd they get your cell number?
It's in my file?
Oh. What?
But once the guys are gone, you can escape and steal the tickets. Slammin'. But then we get to control the Bratz again. Like in the movie, Yasmin calls Chloe and finds out she's too busy to help her get pictures. But with Nigel's removal from the story, she doesn't really have any reason not to come. It's never really explained in this. They might as well have put big text on the screen that said, "Watch the movie for the full story." But now we get to explore the streets of London as Yasmin. What, you mean it isn't just a big flag like it was in the movie? Can't believe Bratz lied to me about London. But you find Ozzy sitting around and decide to make lost dog flyers for him. He then follows you, which is a cute little feature. So you head to the Chop Chop copy shop, but a cat is sitting at the computer you need to use. Predictably, you use Ozzy to scare it off. Classic. Then you design your lost dog poster. You can make it as inefficient as you so desire. I like how you can make it look all flashy, as if the lost dog is a movie star. But once you're done, Yasmin calls Jade, who's in the park with Sasha and taking pictures. Your next minigame requires you to take pictures of characters for a fashion do's and don'ts assignment. The Bratz, and Cameron, will come out and strike a pose, so you move a camera cursor over to them and take a picture while they do so. But Burdine and the Tweevils will also come out, and you have to take pictures of them for your don'ts section. The game will tell you when to photograph someone for a do or a don't, so you take pictures of the characters accordingly. This minigame goes on for a while, actually. There are a few rounds to get through, and sometimes it can take a while for a do or a don't to show up. It's okay, it just goes on for a bit. But sometimes you can get really funny pictures of characters when they're mid-pose. Then you head to Pins to get the scoop on the club. Byron is so glad that you found his dog that he lets you in despite Burdine's protests.
You do realize, Edgar, that those dreadful ladies are in gross violation of the dress code? Punk doesn't mix with pink.
Then why did you invite them? But inside, Byron tells the girls that he signed the band Crash to perform at the Save the Universe concert. They're kind of a big deal in this universe. He even gives the girls backstage passes. But soon, the Bratz discover that their tickets were stolen. This brings us to a stage called the Angelz Save the Universe. Whoa, we went from trying to attend a concert to saving the universe? This game got serious fast. Nah, it's just the name of the benefit concert. But without tickets, the Bratz decide that the easiest way to get into the concert is to become a famous rock band overnight. Sounds realistic enough. I sure wish the bands my friends and I made on the spot got famous instantly. So now we become Chloe and must find outfits for the band. We can snag free candy, which we can give to this kid in exchange for a stylin magazine.
Ew! Sugar explosion! My favorite!
I like how it sounded like she said ew. But nah, she's just British. And then we head into a clothing store and get jump scared by SpongeBob music.
Hello, welcome to Farrell's.
Squidward really needs to turn his radio off, so we find some scorching outfits and head to the register to buy them. But this old lady is buying a dress for her daughter, but isn't sure if she'll like it.
I don't know your daughter either, ma'am, but somehow I know she wouldn't like this dress.
Watch it, Chloe. Lily from Animove would have something to say about you insulting that dress. So you go to find another dress, but guess who you meet? Yep, these clowns again. But you give them the B dress and tell them it's the latest style. They believe you without question, so they take it and leave. You can then take another dress and give it to the lady at the register. Then we switch to Sasha, who's designing a poster. This one's funny because you can just choose one girl in particular to put on it. I wonder if the others would take offense to that. But then Jade and Yasmin go to hang the posters all over pins. They figure they can fool people into thinking they're a much bigger deal than they are. Hey, a little astroturfing never hurt anyone. But Burdine is outside with a security guard. And hey Cameron, thanks for the instruments. You send him to talk to Burdine while you hang posters everywhere both inside and out.
How hard could that be?
Well, Jade, not hard at all actually. You just kinda do it and you're done. Easy stage. So then the girls head to the benefit concert, but it turns out Crash broke up right before they were supposed to go on. Wow, imagine having to explain that to all the Crash fans in the crowd. But it's okay, because this new band absolutely no one has ever heard of is here to take their place. And Roxy, the lead singer of Crash, decides to join them. Wow, they managed to set up their logo and everything within minutes. That stage crew deserves an award. I also love how Burdine crashes the concert in this weird swimsuit, but her reason for wearing it was cut from the game, so if you play this and haven't seen the movie, you'll be very confused as to why she's wearing it. But she fails at stopping the concert when a security guard carries her off in a comical manner. Then we get our final minigame, Rock the Universe. It's a rhythm game that's a little hard to understand at first. As stars appear above a girl, you have to click the colored circle beneath them. Then more girls join you as you go along, making it harder to keep track of each star. Eventually, all 5 show up, but it ends before it gets too hard. It's pretty good once you get the hang of it. Then once it ends, we get the music video for So Good. But once again, So Good isn't the song being played. It's actually Hey When the Angels Play, another song from the same album. I like it, but I'm still disappointed we didn't get So Good in this game. But then that's the end. But wait, there's more. At the menu, we've unlocked a new game we can play. This is Top Trumps. You have a card with a bunch of different things written on it, along with a designated score. You select the one you think you can beat your opponent with, then your enemy's card is revealed. You either win or lose depending on your score. It's alright, nothing too big. But then that's it. So that does it for Bratz Rock Angels. What's our conclusion here? Well, this game is rockin'. As an adaptation, it's very true to the movie and makes the most of the story and environments, especially with such an evidently small budget. The writing is good and feels like it came right out of the show, and the soundtrack is awesome. AWE is often criticized for its animation, but I don't think it's too bad in this one. It exudes Bratz energy. The minigames are fun, and I enjoy exploring every location in the point-and-click sections. I'd say this is really well made. There is a part of me that wishes it had more original cutscenes, but again, AWE wasn't that big of a company. They had deadlines and budgets and all that. This is still a lot of fun, and a game that can be enjoyed by a kid who likes Bratz. Bratz made an impact on a lot of people throughout the 2000s, and it still remains one of the most remarkable toy lines to have ever existed. I still love this movie, the show, and the game, so I'm glad to cover anything relating to it. Be sure to subscribe, follow me on Twitter and Twitch, which are linked in the description below, and tune in to our next installment. Thank you for joining me. I will see you in the next memory.